कुछ एक चॉइसेस होती हैं जब हम डिज़ाइनिंग कर रहे होते हैं, हम कुछ चीज़ें बना रहे होते हैं, हम कुछ चीज़ें सोच के चलते हैं. इसको बोल सकते हैं, वर्ड होता है इसके, ह्यूरिस्टिक अप्रोच. योर ओन अप्रोच अबाउट थिंग्स एंड हाउ दे शुड वर्क. एक होता है ना अपनी कंशाइस से सोचना कि वो किस तरह से काम करेगी. बट यहाँ पे इस बुक में बहुत ज़्यादा ये चीज़ मेंशन की गई है कि दे हैड अ वेरी ह्यूरिस्टिक अप्रोच टू थिंग्स. दे चोज थिंग्स एज पर देयर टेस्ट. सो द थिंग इज, आज के टाइम में अ लॉट ऑफ कंपनीज दे हैव हायर्ड साइकोलॉजिस्ट to work about their designs, what people like, based on the studies they have conducted over the years, based on the experience of someone. Designs are done that way.
Yeah, everyone has multiple data scientists and product designers sitting there.
Now, my problem with this approach is, it worked for Apple, right? A lot of good products came out because of a good taste in designing for some of their engineers. Now, would it work with everyone, every company out there?
I'm not sure, man. I think Apple has done a excellent job of maintaining a company culture, I can say, where everyone understands this taste of what Apple is trying to work on right now. I guess for the listeners, one example can be when this guy Ken, right, the author of the book, he was working on the iPad keyboard and he made 2 different versions of the iPad keyboard, right? And when he went to Steve, of course he went to his upper management first, but then
Scott.
Scott. So they asked him to they liked the demo, and then they went to Steve with the demo, and Steve just looked at it for a while like, okay, this is version 1, version 2, and Ken was trying to convince, like, you see these beautiful animations when it goes from version 1 to 2. Steve was like, oh come on, don't be kidding me. And he essentially asked him to pick one, and Ken said, yeah, I actually like the version 1 a little more than version 2. And Steve was like, yeah, let's just run with it. So that was one example for your point from the book. Is that a correct example based on your point?
Kind of, but ठीक है, ये एप्पल के केस में चल गया. आई गेस देर आर अ लॉट ऑफ कंपनीज जिसके केस में ये चीज़ नहीं चली होगी. दे डिड अ डिसीजन. एप्पल के केस में चलते हैं. देयर वाज अ वर्जन ऑफ मैक कीबोर्ड दैट डिडंट वर्क आउट, डिड इट?
Yeah. See, I think why it worked is because Steve was openly doing these demos in the company. I think that's why they worked. I've read another book, it's called Insanely Simple.
Okay.
It is similar to creative selection, but it's around the marketing side of things in Apple, not the development sides of it, right? So what that guy discusses in that book is that whenever they would do like a marketing campaign for Apple, whether it would be for iPod or the MacBook Air at that time, whatever they was releasing, what they could do is they could create a small demo of the gist of the advertisement, how it would look like, and they could just show it to their upper management and then do a demo with Steve, right? And Steve would just say like, this is good, work more on this, this is just crappy, get rid of this. And because of this, one thing was that people could work on multiple things, and then just in the end everything is going through Steve, right? He was looking at it all, he was aware of all the things that were going on based on the books I have read, right? That was one reason it all worked, because if multiple people are designing based on their heuristics, it won't work, right? But when you have multiple people designing based on their heuristics, but then you have Steve sitting on top filtering them, right? Then it could work out because you have one person with one vision and they would all match up essentially. I think it worked for Apple because Steve was so openly doing these demos and he was so informal with everyone that he would just sit, look at their work and give them feedback on it.
Right. But I agree to your point, but let's say there is a new person in the company. Now, at the start, they didn't have a lot of people who were designing a lot of things, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say in between, they hired someone who has a specialty in developing a feature, developing something in a certain way. He has a degree and he has a process that he follows and as per the process he comes to a conclusion.
Mhm.
Now you already have people who are working with ye sahi hai. How are you going to make them compatible?
Yeah, I guess the only way is I've seen multiple cases where someone really good was hired at Apple. Some examples are in the Insanely Simple book, that someone was really good at what they do and they were hired by Apple, and they ran with their heuristics, right? Like Apple does, that they would work on something, they would put their heart out, and then Steve would look at it. And Steve did not like some of them, honestly. And he had good reasons on why he did not like them. And some examples from what I know, they ended up leaving Apple after that. Because one is good for the company, because they have this culture, right? And everyone in the company is kind of knitted into that culture. And it's also good for the individual, right? They don't have to force themselves to start thinking from the Apple way, right? Of course, there would be a lot of people who learned from everyone's approach there, right? Who try to learn from how Apple designs products, and then they slowly got into that state of mind. But I'm pretty sure people left because they were really good at what they did, but they just didn't resonate with the way Apple did things.
I have one more problem with this approach, the heuristic, that I think it works on me. I'm not sure. They are great guys, they are legends in their fields. That might not apply to them. But I'm telling from personal experience, the heuristic approach works a lot on your confidence. Let's say you were given a task X and you successfully put it to bed. The task Y, the second task, and you had a home run with it. And then a string of failures come in. Like the third task, the fourth task, the fifth task, you failed at them miserably. The choices you made were bad. In that scenario, how would they be able to justify this? Like, it's a confidence game, right? जैसे ही तुम्हारे कुछ डिसीजंस गलत जाने लगेंगे ह्यूरिस्टिक अप्रोच में, यू आर नॉट फॉलोइंग एनी स्पेसिफिक थिंग, यू आर मतलब यू आर गोइंग बाय योर गट.
Yeah, your confidence will start to go down.
Yeah, and in that case, company will also go down. Don't you think so? In the long run, is the heuristic approach a right approach? मतलब it looks very magical and it's fun when it is success. But once एक दो जगह गलत हो गया फिर क्या करेंगे?
I don't have a concrete answer on this. My take is that eventually you do need someone to essentially be the gatekeeper of the design of the products, right? Like Apple had Johnny Ive in their team for last about 10 to 15 years, I guess. He recently left, like 2016, 17, as far as I know. So then you have this one person governing the design side of things. People still have freedom, they can come up with their ideas, but then this person has set out a design language for things that they want to work on. That's why if you look at all these products, right, the MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, or the iMac, they all have a sense of similarity to them, right? And when do you remember the jump from iOS 6 to 7?
No, I don't. I'm not the Apple person.
So essentially it was like Android going from KitKat to Lollipop, which had material design and stuff like that.
That must have felt great,
right? So I think that was also when Johnny Ive started working on iOS. Essentially he gave out a design language that the icons, the screens should work in this way, and then people started to still have their views but also try to fit their views in this design language. So I guess eventually people do or not people, organizations do have a design language. Also as they grow, if there are only a few people in the company or on a project, they can still talk about, discuss their ideas and come up with something, right? If there are a lot of people and they would all have different ideas, and if they're asked to make anything, right? Say there is a team of people, they have to design a horse, I'm giving a
Horse?
really bad example here.
Really
there is
bad.
there is a team of people that they have been asked to design a horse, right? So one team creates one of the legs. It's like a really muscular leg, right?
Ooh.
The other team has their own heuristics. Now they have like this thin, lean leg of a horse which runs at like 50 miles per hour. Right? That is why I guess eventually when you're growing, you need to define a design language, and everyone tries to fit their ideas into that design language. That's my take on it.
But that's not heuristic, right? This is a proper way in which you are following. You have a DNA that everyone is following. It's not heuristic. Heuristic is मैं करेगा, मेरे स्टाइल में करेगा.
अच्छा, yeah, I don't think that would work मेरे हिसाब से in long term, that everyone is just doing मैं करेगा मेरे हिसाब से करेगा.
So kind of इस बुक में मुझे मतलब सबके लिए अलग अलग मैसेज हो सकते हैं. मेरे लिए मैसेज मुझे कहीं ना कहीं फील हुआ कि ये चीज़ रखा है कि द मैजिक हैपन्स व्हेन यू लेट योर क्रिएटिविटी फ्लो, विच इज़ राइट. आई डोंट मतलब डिसएग्री विद दिस, बट थोड़ा मैजिकल हो जाता है, थोड़ा फिक्शनल वर्ल्ड में पहुंच जाते हैं.
For sure. I bet it was not that easy. Like ऐसा तो नहीं होगा कि एप्पल में कोई भी जाएगा कि like मैं ये बना के लाऊंगा and then सब बोलेंगे हाँ बहुत बढ़िया. कहीं ना कहीं तो होगा कि right, like this is not good. Don't do this. Do it this way, and then that person will go in. And there were examples in the book about this as well, right?
Yeah, right.
Where the heuristic of one person was just put down, like, okay, this is bad. Go back. Do it this way. So yeah, I guess it's good to promote creativity, but then that doesn't mean that every time you do something it'll go to production.